Hello, one and all. We are back at it after a bit of a break because I can't stop myself from starting too many series. There's a new game, a new shiny thing that I want to play, and I just can't stop myself. I rejigged my cabinet here, my administration. I think it's pretty good now. So we got a nice boss. All team members lose 1 stress point at the end of every month. We lose 1.3% ratings. We gain 4.5%, but our actions increase stress by 1. And then we've got all team members lose 1 stress point at the end of every month, and we lose $100,000. So our stress is good, and we're going to increase our ratings by, 3.2%. And then on the vice president side, we've got gain 25,000 at the end of every month. We lose 0.3% ratings. That balances fine with that. Fund keeper is Sophie, which it's not showing us. Oh, there we go. 60,000 at the end of every month. We lose 0.2% rating. And then Will, your monthly income sources bring in 30% more. It's just a bonus. So we're going to be gaining some ratings and making some money. And our stress should be in a pretty good spot too. So I think we'll go with this for a while. We'll gradually get our ratings up over time and make some cash. Okay, let's take a look at Bloody Spy. Mr. President, I arranged for you to attend a test screening of Bloody Spy for 2 reasons. 1, no one will be able to eavesdrop on us in an empty auditorium. I guess it's not a very good movie. 2, in the plot of the movie, an FBI agent attempts to assassinate the president, who has taken it upon himself to change the Constitution to suit his own needs. Art imitates reality, or is it the other way around? Oh, don't look so surprised. I know all about the amendment. I am, after all, the head of intelligence, and have been for years, although my son Dean manages to run circles around me. So what happened to your son? Well, the problem is that Dean ended up in a highly undesirable organization, right in the middle of a campaign, just when we finally beat that old goat Bridges. If you help me get Dean out of this mess, he'll vote for the amendment, plain and simple, a pact between 2 men. Dean's not the one that's running against the lady that's already behind us, right? Can we be sure how Dean will vote? He'll do what I tell him, believe me. Didn't you just say that he's running circles around you? I've been watching you, so I know you know how to solve problems without raising any alarms. That's the most important thing in this situation. I'm talking about a word that starts with a T and ends with an ism. It's not safe for the head of intelligence to even talk about it. If someone found out and got proof, I'd be screwed. So once we've struck this deal, Mr. President, we're keeping it under the hat. Okay. I'll help you. You can count on it. We need that other person. And we'll help you. Then it's a deal, Mr. President. Covert Extraction. That's what we have to do? Oh, it's Doofus. I see you've been stuck at the White House a lot recently, my friend. Don't worry, you'll be out of here before you know it. You know, I was just thinking about how I used to love getting away to Camp David for a few days, every now and then. I'm actually going to be in the area this weekend, and I was hoping to pop by my old stomping grounds and pick up a certain item I left there a few years back. I promise I won't touch anything. Certainly not any important papers or sexy housekeepers. Not even the cute brunette with the rack. So mind if I stop by? Okay, he's asking if we mind. And knowing this game, that means if I don't want him to come, I say no. No. Jessica CK, organizer of public holidays, says, I planned all your 4th of July celebrations for 10 years, Mr. President. I try to keep it fresh, but there's one thing that never changes, the fireworks show. Well, our regular fireworks are starting to feel a little pedestrian. So this year I decided to try to find something a little more interesting. And I did. A private company has developed something called living fireworks. Oh, okay. I was like, they're gonna shoot people up into the sky and then blow them up. But no, they explode into the shapes of birds, flowers, you name it. I say we should be the first in the country to use them. We can make a gigantic American flag above the White House. What do you say? This seems like a no-brainer yes, but that means that there's some kind of downside. But we're gonna go with yes. Okay, Bered Canada. I assume the Covert Extraction. Yeah, okay. Oh, he's in some kind of cult. Mr. President, my dim-witted and overly trusting son has been lured into a terrorist organization. Yes, you heard me right. Now you know my shame. According to my information, Dean is in a so-called training camp in the woods of Northwest Washington, away from all the amenities of civilization. If you help bring him home, Dean will do everything in his power to pass your amendment once he's elected to Congress, I guarantee it. To get my son out safely, we'll have to act with great care and discretion. No one must ever learn about Dean or our arrangement. I don't really have the people for this now. We got time. How many people do we need? Assets. We need 2 more. Okay. 10 months left. Shouldn't be a problem. What? I can't believe you didn't let me into Camp David. Kai, I was so bummed. I got loaded and wound up there anyway. That brunette opened the door for me. You know, the one with the jugs. Well, I poured her a martini. She called up her friends. Just don't fire the broad, okay? I might have fibbed a little and told her you said it was okay. And you can ignore all those selfies from the party that wound up going viral. Boys will be boys, right, guy? Oh, I knew it! We're gonna blow something up. That was a fourth people won't soon forget, Mr. President. Unfortunately, that's because it was the first one in years without any fireworks. The first barrage blew up in the launcher, and we had to call the fire department. Everything was covered in smoke, but at least nobody got hurt. I'm just concerned the whole fiasco might have undermined people's confidence in the safety measures we take at government functions. We probably should have waited for someone else to test the living fireworks out first. Live and learn, right? I'm starting to get a better sense as we probably near, like, it's got to be at least the 3/4 of the way through point of the game. What's good to pick and what's bad to pick, but it's sometimes it's really hard to tell. Okay, Bered Canada. Pay a long-awaited visit to your happy neighbor. Mr. President, it is a pleasure to welcome you to my home. They warned me before your meeting that you had sad eyes, but I had no idea it was this serious. Edward Durant, Prime Minister of Canada. What's that? I only mean that I can see by your eyes that you're very concerned about the fate of America. You see, there's no problem at all in Canada and nothing to worry about anymore. The roads are paved, the bridges are repaired, the homeless cats live in cat hostels. Look at my face. Do you see the slightest trace of sadness in my eyes? I stand in front of the mirror all day long, struggling to appear at least a little preoccupied, but nothing works. Do you want to talk about it? Yes, I do. I'm doing it right now. Please don't imagine I'm some kind of political masochist. Not at all. It's just that there's an election coming up and I want to look like I have a little gravitas. There's nowhere for me to prove myself, no problems to harrow me. But maybe you can give me some advice. You've got more problems than you can move with a shovel. Judging by recent events, you're an expert in the business. This conversation strikes me as a little odd. Not to me. We heads of state have to stick together. Today you help me, tomorrow I help you. Shall we brainstorm? What problems would you tackle if you were Prime Minister of Canada? Declare war on depression. Every other Canadian is on antidepressants. Psychotherapy is the country's most common profession. It's easier to get an appointment for smallpox or the plague. Fight poverty? I'd truly love to, but where would that poverty come from? We only have 3 homeless people in Toronto. I know every beggar by sight. Deal with the infringement of migrants' rights? Migrant rights infringement? That's the first time I've ever heard you say those 3 words in the same sentence. We don't have that in Canada. Well, if there are any problems, we could make some. How do you mean? I should organize a terrorist attack myself, start a war, create an ecological disaster? All rulers do stuff like that. I'm sorry, but that's not the way it's done in Canada. But I do have one idea, Mr. President. What if it was you who created problems for Canada? So then everybody would hate me instead of you. Oh, nobody's going to hate you. I'm not asking you to do anything openly. Simple. Your people make a little mess in Canada, then I give a fiery pep talk and promise to fight evil in all its varieties. The people will love me and you have my gratitude. That's it? Just gratitude? Oh, you insult me, Mr. President. The gratitude of top officials always has a numerical value, if you know what I mean. Believe me, I can find a few million ways to make your sad eyes shine. Would that do? A few million? I'll do it! Then it's a deal. Thank you, Mr. President. I'll contact you to discuss the details of our special operation. Yeah, we got no problems here in Canada. I got a ratings bump. The president is on a visit to sunny Canada. Hey, what time of year is it? I didn't see. He and Prime Minister Duran enjoyed a pleasant stroll along the streets of Toronto, among the perfectly content citizens of Canada, also known as Tirana, up here in the Great White North. Rise Up Canada. Oh, we need 60% approval. It's June. Okay, that's fair. Mr. President, I wanted to check the security of the password in your personal mail, and I accidentally hacked it. Should I make it more secure? That stresses about though, right? Sure. Buddy! It's our first buddy of the session. I can't speak for all men, but the way to my heart is through my stomach for sure. As a gourmet, I never miss an opportunity to meet my fellow foodies. One of them, a Californian media tycoon, Rich Buckwalter, also happens to be a congressman and will soon become one of our people. I promise to recruit him and arrange a meeting between you two. Darling, it's Mila again. She has given up on spy games and ciphered messages. Thank God, but her requests are as brazen as ever. She's saying our son has started asking about his daddy, and not even the most expensive toys can distract him. Mila is asking for $15,000 to take Adam for a holiday in some European theme park with robots and Crispix. Whatever those are. I do not mind, and besides, we do owe Mila for the love she is showing our child. Showering our child with since the first day of her pregnancy. What do you think? For Mila and our son, anything. 15,000 here. Darling, you are a treasure. I hope they all have a great time in the theme park. I think I'm starting to envy them. I'll ask Mila to take plenty of pictures. No ratings hit. That's actually kind of surprising. Okay, those two are in progress. Help your ex-wife. Hi, how are you? I hope it's not as threatened as mine is. What does that mean? I hope it's not as threatened as mine is? How was your day or something? I've been hit on by some crazy fan. First he left 150 comments under every picture on Instagram. Then he sent me lousy flowers by courier. Then he started calling me with declarations of love. Where did he get the number? Until I told him to fuck off. Okay. After that, the candy and bouquet period was over, and the threatening letters came. Look at what he wrote. I will trample you like you trampled my feelings. I would have thought it was idle chit-chat, but he also added, have a nice Christmas in Miami. And I hadn't told anyone yet that I was going there. Anyway, I thought I'd play it safe and ask you for a good security guard. I don't have one of those. Debbie's a lawyer. Yeah, I don't have a good security guard. Grant citizenship. Create thousands of jobs for Americans by not surrendering the South Korean businessman to authorities. Jim Bull, governor of New Mexico. Mr. President, our state was counting on the investments from Korea Techno Group. Their vice president, Lee Gwa-moon, was planning to set up electronic factories in our borough, creating hundreds of jobs and bringing in millions in profit. He was looking to purchase a plot of land near Albuquerque when Korean authorities accused him of bribery. The motives, of course, are purely political. If Lee Goo-moon goes back, they'll put him behind bars. The only way for him to escape prison is to receive American citizenship and stay here. Perhaps one of your lawyers could lend him a hand and streamline the procedure. Clint's my man. Too stressed though, eh? Holding the candidate. Solve the Texas congressional candidate's image problem. Sounds like an Alta thing. Honey, it looks like the people are willing to vote for anybody but Mike. And poor guy, he's the only one who doesn't realize it's all about his creepy cardigans. His faith in humanity is amazing. He wouldn't listen to us, so we'll have to be smarter about encouraging him to work on his image. I'm sure Mike can be persuaded. We just need to put it in a way that makes sense to him. We have to convince him. So Sophie, maybe? No. Tien would have been good. We have to raise our approval rating. Maybe I just pass on the rest of this stuff. I do have, I got a passport for Alta. What was that for though? Was it censorship program? Public relations specialist who can explain the logic of American laws. Also pleased at a programmer. Okay, so I think we wanted to send Alta and Will on these. That should be good. And then we still have Ollie and Sophie. I think I want to send them on vacation though. It's kind of like a week of relaxation. Send them all to rest so they'll come back rejuvenated. Yeah, I won't be able to do that. Amount to pay 1.2 million. Balance at end of turn 5.4. Okay. Darling, it's a shame you decided not to put any of our people into Congress. We could use the help of an inside man or woman we could trust. Still, I understand how busy your team currently is. We'll think of something else. Well, I've got two, I think, already. So we should be able to find one more. Like two candidates that should support us. So our ratings went up. Money went up and then down. Stress, everyone's good. Okay. Into July. And we're at 6.1 million. Excellent. Sir, thank you so much for that trip to Hawaii. I went to every bar and club on the Big Island and had a love affair for the ages and even won a badminton tournament. Honestly, I'm even getting a little bit antsy for new challenges. Anything you need me to do? Yeah, Chief, that was a nice enough vacation. There are always a ton of celebs in Hawaii. And I was able to hijack a couple dozen social media accounts. Gonna make a small fortune selling them back to the owners. Anyway, I had a good time and I'm ready for work. Thanks. Clint delivers. Mr. President, with your lawyer's help, Lee Goo-moon became an American citizen. He's already bought land for the first electronic factory. He also wanted me to give you something. Corrupt schemes. A file of documents proving that members of the U.S. establishment are using corrupt practices to squeeze foreign competitors out of the country. The publication of these documents will hit the establishment and strengthen your credibility. So good for our approval rating. Oh, we're up to above 60. Huang Yanling, a propaganda specialist, says, Mr. President, the experience of working with your experts was unforgettable. The PR specialist came up with so many insults, I risked being sent to a labor camp just for recalling them. Your programmer was a genuine savant whose algorithm successfully filters out 87% of the memes our supreme leader finds offensive. It's unfortunate that the news of your involvement was leaked to the media. I hope the accusations of censorship won't sting too badly after you look at the contents of this hard drive. Secret research. 7G? And we're only on 5G here. This hard drive, which you received from the Chinese government, contains research on big data transfers. You can sell it to businesses or hand it over to scientists for the benefit of America. Mr. President, I made an ASCII portrait of you. Would you accept it? Sure. What? Mr. President, I told my friends you refused to give me a raise, and they laughed, and I said I just wasn't being serious enough. So I got my request together properly, and I worked up the courage, and now I've come to you again. I'd like to be paid $983,000. Oh, thank you, Mr. President. Now I have an incentive to work even harder. Joanna Rizzuto says, Shelley Shaw's new show promises to be about the #1 big shot in America. Could she mean the president? We'll soon know what the most controversial host of the shock news has in store for us. Berta Glover says, at long last, the California car killer known as Creepy Pie has been arrested. The vicious murderer who terrorized the outskirts of Berkeley turned out to be a 35-year-old sales manager from Juul. He resisted arrest and was quoted saying he wanted to have his revenge on women for scraping cars on their test drives. Okay. David Sadar. It's my favorite parable. A boy asked a wise man, should I be a sheep among wolves or a wolf among sheep? And the wise man said, it doesn't matter. Just remember to bring a second skin so you can blend in. Okay, that's great. I never found my father's pen. I'm sure of my suspicions. I don't intend to tolerate any more thieves in the office. It's either them or me. Will you fire Joe? Well, I have 2 hackers already, don't I? All right, whatever. I was paying them too much anyways. Wait, they can... Uh-oh. It's like a tug of war. We lost one. Hello, my dear friend. Do me a favor, put your business aside and visit me for a chat. Don't bother lying that you're too busy. I was a president longer than you, and no, there's always time for an old pal if you feel like finding some. He just does not get it. Riatan, a mediator. Mr. President, my mental health center has been rented by burnt-out Juul employees for the whole summer. Sorry, but I will not be holding therapy sessions for your employees in the near future. I don't think I ever used that. Position in the administration became vacant after your subordinate left. Sure. Oh, the power broker. Okay. Well, that's an optional one, right? 1 million? But what? We gain $1 million at the end of every month, but we lose 1.9. What? Why? Why would I ever? Dummy. Okay. Favors cost 5% less. You lose 0.2% ratings at the end of every month. 40% more. I guess I'll just leave it empty. Or should I put 10 in there? I need ratings. Old friend, lessons in love, get the actor, instigate the case, deliver the rare wolf. I need 7 million for that. Project Colossus documents, 3.2 mil. I'm gonna hang on to that. Corrupt schemes. Plus, okay. Plus 14.2%. We have a choice. This would actually put us above 60. I don't really need the money. Let's just use this. Buddy, if we publish this story, the people will realize that allowing the goddamn establishment to control this country will leave everyone out of work and out of money. Are we ready to leak this information to the press? Yes. Now America knows exactly who's on their side. Keep it up. Okay, we can do Rise Up Canada. Let's start with old friend, though. Former President Face suddenly invited you for a talk. Hello, Mr. President. I'm glad you haven't forgotten your old friends. Since when did we become friends? Oh, enough of the injured toad. I'm the only person in the world who genuinely wishes you well. You know that, don't you? I have a real friend, Tony Estaba. Yeah. The only reason he's still your friend is that he's not too smart. But me, I know all your shortcomings, but I appreciate you all the same. This guy really wants to be our friend. I don't understand this guy's motivations. Is he trying to screw us? How long do you think your friendship would last if we gave that Tony of yours a little peek at the bigger picture? Oh. Face, you're only acting like my friend because you need this amendment too. I guess that's true. He's going to benefit from it. But mutual benefit is the basis of every friendship. Yes, immunity will help me as much as it will help you, but that doesn't mean you should treat me any differently. Very well, let's cut to the chase. I'll be honest with you, I'm impressed with how you've carried yourself. You managed to find your way into Congress. You seem to be pulling them one by one to your side. I expected far less from you. To tell you the truth, I thought you were a buffoon, but luckily for both of us, I couldn't have been more mistaken. True, our mutual friend, Weister, hasn't been sitting idle either. He's been meeting with congressmen behind your back, and trust me, he's got plenty of resources to apply pressure. Why do you care so much? Because if you fuck this up, we're both going to prison. Your whole prison business was based on Weister's plans. Need I remind you who was covering it all up? You can put 2 and 2 together. You're not stupid, are you? Long story short, I have a plan. What's the plan? I can't tell you. If I did, you'd talk me out of it. Even I have my doubts, but none of that is why I called you here. I wanted to meet with you in person to explain myself one last time. You're a good man, and you know how to take a punch, but I'm afraid that Weister might be quicker and more cunning. So I'll have to take a risk and perhaps make some sacrifices. My freedom, for instance. But once you pass that goddamn amendment, none of it will matter. I really do hope it's not for nothing. My freedom is in your hands. Do you understand? I get it. Anything else, Face? Do whatever you want, man. There's plenty else, but nothing that a big ray of sunshine like you needs to worry about. Mind your own business, Mr. President. This conversation is over. Okay, I suck. He said maybe he'll testify against him. Hey, we're up past 70. Sir, Tien just made an inappropriate remark about my breasts. Should we ask the head of the Secret Service to talk to him about how to behave in the White House? I'm afraid his remarks might lead to some kind of scandal. Is this, would the Secret Service be talking to him about it? No. Christian Dempsey, CEO at an IT company. Mr. President, I left a message on congress.gov 2 weeks ago, and I'm still waiting for a response. That kind of a delay is simply unacceptable in this day and age. We need to develop a messenger people can use to contact their elected officials. We'll call it GovChat. Okay. Anthony Rowe, Secretary of Labor. Things are really heating up for government employees. Literally. I mean, when it hits 96 degrees outside, that's just brutal. One congressman from North Carolina mopped his brow with a napkin. So many times during a press conference, he ended up nudging his signature toupee all the way back to the nape of his neck. We've been running the AC 24/7, and the environmentalists are about to tear us a new one. They're more dangerous than the heat. I tell you. Let's stop the madness and let government employees wear shorts and t-shirts instead of suits, okay? At least until it cools off a little. Okay. I'm really curious to see how those choices are going to backfire, but they will. Inevitably.